Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of UnderRadar. Today we're going to be experiencing a nice little murder mystery, your murder mystery, in today's episode of Shadow of Destiny. Shadow of Destiny, also known as Shadow of Memories internationally, is an adventure game developed and published by Konami for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation Portable platforms. Released on the PS2 platform in 2001 and was later ported to the other systems in 2002 and 2010. This is a game that is truly hidden from the public, and I've yet to hear anybody talk about it since my day of playing it in 2001 until now. It's such a unique take at time travel, death, and the power to change your fate. The story of Shadow of Destiny follows Ike Kush as he is killed by a random assassin and wakes up in some strange dimension, where a voice calls to him to cheat death and solve the mystery behind his own death. There are about 10 chapters in total if you count the prologue and the epilogue, and in each chapter, Ike dies and is resurrected by the homunculus to travel back in time to prevent his death and attempt to unmask his killer. The game has a total of 8 endings, with 6 of them being available right off the bat, while you unlock the last 2 by doing the other 6 endings. Multiple endings are really great in a game like this, because this game's story is about 3 to 4 hours long at the least if it's your first time. So with that decent time with the amount of multiple endings really lends some replayability to an already great game with a crazy story. With so many endings though, one has to wonder, what is your fated ending? The graphics for Shadow of Destiny are really early PlayStation 2 era graphics, where human characters are trying to look more realistic at the time, but still not quite there yet. Some faces of certain characters creep me out a bit.
Well, I never!
But overall, the graphics are decent and, at times, have a really interesting take on the game's time periods, such as early 20th century being all gray. The character designs are pretty decent though, with the most interesting being the take on the homunculus, who is a very mysterious and creepy looking fellow.
I was the one who saved you. You should be a little more appreciative.
What's going on around here? Who are you?
That's not very nice. Can't you be a little more polite? I am homunculus. Not that there's much in a name.
At the end of the day, Shadow of Destiny is still a good looking game with a nice charm to its landscapes and characters. The music in this game really helps with the mysterious tone the game delivers to you. I oftentimes find myself uneasy when listening to it, and I feel some Goosebumps or Twilight Zone type mysterious stuff is about to happen, or maybe one of Ike's deaths to take me by surprise and scare the crap out of me. The voice acting in this game though is kind of middle of the road for me. I enjoy the homunculus's voice and Ike's voice to an extent, but sometimes his tone in certain lines seem a bit lackluster, as with some other characters.
Hello, Ike?
Oh, Mr. Eckert.
Weren't you supposed to come around to my museum today? If you're not, I was thinking about closing up here.
I'm sorry about that. I'm going to head out there right now.
But of course, it doesn't get too bad to the point of ruining the game, nor its story, so the music and the voice acting in this game is still pretty good. In Shadow of Destiny, Ike's destiny is to die, and oddly enough, to come back to life to try and prevent his own death. How does Ike accomplish this, you ask? Well, he's revived by the homunculus, who gives him with a device known as a digipad, which can send Ike back in time so he can prevent his own death. But Ike can't do this alone. In his wandering, he finds a fortune teller, who is able to tell him when the fated hour will occur. But most of the time, your help will come from the homunculus, who will give you hints on how to stay alive.
Isn't there any way you can avoid being stabbed to death? What about putting something like an iron plate under your clothing? And if you make good use of that, perhaps... Please, make a good job of it.
This game plays like adventure games, in which you cannot attack or jump or do much but simply walk around and collect objects to use on people or other objects. Most of this game is all about the dialogue and how you approach certain characters and how certain actions you'll take in the past affect your future. With so much time traveling, your digipad might seem like it's out of power, which is why there are energy units scattered around the town which you can collect to refill your digipad and help you on your quest. The big theme in this game is all about time, and it's something the game takes seriously as it gives you 2 clocks, one giving you the time in present day, and the other for whichever area you travel to. In each chapter you're racing against the clock to take action to cheat death before the fated hour. You must be very wary of how you spend your time, as interacting with objects and people can take up time, as well as cutscenes taking up a lot of time. And if you find you can't prevent your death within the fated hour, the chapter resets. You also need to pay very close attention to your digipad as well as your time, for if you're not in your own time period by the fated hour, the game will end.
Welcome. Oh? You are not in your own time, are you? Unless you return there quickly, you won't be able to go back at all. Beware.
I'm not one for adventure games, but if more games had such a compelling story such as Shadow of Destiny, with the interesting characters you meet and the places you go, I'd say this genre could be right up my alley. Shadow of Destiny is a really entertaining experience for me, and it's such a rare game that truly has won my heart. I love the crazy story, the cryptic homunculus, and the various endings you can get. I actually love this game, and it holds a special place in my heart for someone who really doesn't like many adventure games. I'm so glad it got ported so much to even live as long as 2010, but unfortunately it still isn't as well known as it deserves to be. I'm hoping this episode will help change that one day. Thank you guys so much for watching this fantastic episode of Under Radar, and I'll see you in the next one.